Okay, we're going to make my sausage and mashed pie with onion gravy. I'm making them in little individual pots because they look really great when you turn them out to serve. Hopefully you've got your pan of salted boiling water on the hob and your other pan with what should be now getting really hot melting butter, and we can get straight on and pop the onions into the melted butter and the potatoes into the boiling water. There we go. And we just give the onions a good stir around on a high heat to start off with. And all we're doing here is just cooking out the raw, acrid smell and flavour of the onions, and then we'll turn the heat really down low and cook it on as low a temperature as you possibly can. There we go. I'm going to turn the heat right down on these, pop the lid on, and now it's a little bit quieter. We can get on and roll out the pastry. So all we need to do is we need to make enough pastry for the 2 cases and 2 lids. So just a little bit of flour on the work surface just to stop anything sticking, and then pop your pastry on top, and then just try and squash it down with your hands a bit. We'll reuse some of it a bit later to get the right shapes and everything. We go. I'm going to pop a little bit of flour on top of the pastry, flour my rolling pin, and we're going to just start rolling out. And what I find is normally you'll have like an end bit like this. See, that's already sort of coming away. I'm just going to chop this off, and that'll be plenty for the two lids. See, so we can just set that aside, and just every now and again pick up your pastry and just check it's not sticking at all, and then just rolling it out. There we go. Oh. We want to get the pastry really nice and thin, because it'll sort of, you'll see when you pop it in the pie dish itself, it'll gather together, so it'll double up in there. So we're getting quite nice and close here now. Almost as thin as you can go. You can just start seeing the colour of your work surface through it. It helps for me because I've got a dark work surface, but if you can see how, you probably won't be able to get this on the camera, but really, really nice and thin. So what we want to do is we want to take one of our little pie dishes and then drape it over, and then all we're going to do is just try and ease it in. So a little tip, if you put it on your hands and with your fingers, so cup it round so you can create like a cylinder effect with this, and then it'll get into the pie dish easier, and then just try and sort of fold over the flaps to the edges. It'll make everything a little bit easier. So as I said, this is why you roll it out really thin, so that the edges will push together, because it won't be a perfect circle otherwise. So just trying to find the base of your dish, pressing into the base, just easing the pastry in so that you don't break it, and then you want to really press nice and hard against the sides, and this will just squash the pastry together so that those folds become one nice bit of pastry. And remember, on the outside, it doesn't matter if there's finger indentations on the inside, it's the outside that's against the nice flat wall that'll look really, really nice when it's all cooked. There we go. And now we just need to trim away the excess, just leaving a little overhanging, which we're going to use for the other one. So it's about 1 centimetre overhanging. And then we can just make sure that everything's nicely pushed in. And the reason why we have the lip overhanging is so when you put the lid on, it's got something that you can press together so that it becomes one big bit of pastry. So we've got that, and so we just need to roll up the excess pastry we've trimmed off, and then we're going to roll that out for the other one. So flatten it out with my hands and then roll it out. Go. We just want this again big enough so that it'll completely cover the sides and really nice and thin again. One more go should do it. There we go. So again, just draping it over your finger and then just creating it into a little cylinder shape, nice and easy, into the bottom of your bowl, and then just pop the edges over the sides. And then press down in the base so that you get a nice flat bottom, something that we all want. Round the sides. Really pressing it in so it goes really nice and flat. And then just draped over the sides. And then last we just need to roll out the tops. So just bring this into a ball, that's probably the easiest way to do this. And then roll these out. And these can be really nice and thin. There we go. And then just going to cut out the lid, and we just again, it wants to be about a good centimetre wider than the actual case. It's one lid. It doesn't matter, it's a perfect circle, we'll trim it all up afterwards. And then the last bit of pastry, pick up all the little bits. There we go, I'm not even going to bother to measure that. So all you need to do now is leave the potatoes, they'll probably take about another 6 or 7 minutes, but just until the potatoes are ready to mash, and then come back, we'll just mash the potatoes, make the gravy, fill the pies and get them cooking. Leave the onions until the potatoes are ready, and they should just give them an occasional stir. They should be really softening now and starting to brown. And we'll be ready to go to the next step.